Good evening, everybody. This is System Chalk with another episode of Ike Upscribe the Apostle Obsonate. I wanted to take a really quick second at the start and say that I am recording these videos later than I would normally like. And the reason I mention that is I will still upload them and have them released at the usual time. However, if you're watching it really close to the release time and YouTube hasn't finished processing it, it's possible that it will not be at the full resolution. When this happens, when YouTube finishes processing it, it will go to full resolution, and if you really can't enjoy the stream or the video at the normal rate, or the default rate, just give it a while. It may need a day at the latest, I think. But I just wanted to say that up front, and of course if you're watching this pretty much a day or two after release, you'll have the full resolution, so it won't be that big of a deal. But sorry to start off with technical things. I'm just a little bit conscious of the circumstances under which I'm preparing this video. Now, on to the other, not exactly tedious business, but housekeeping business. It is a little tricky to remember where I was last time. Obviously, if I'm streaming or recording late, that means that I have less of a secure grip on on where I was going with all of this. It seems to me like we have already dealt with the dread we were worried about. Now, I also seem to remember that I wanted to try and do a better job of navigating some of the some of the emotions that would be popping up. So we're working at Glover and Glover. We're trying to avoid scandal, which is entirely in my control. I don't need to worry about. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I don't need to worry about scandal unless something particularly scary happens. Okay, sorry, wanted to double check a couple of things. Now, one of these bloods was going to go to basically to save me. That would have to be this delightful blood. This will turn into dread, I believe. And then we've got the icy atmosphere, which will eventually turn into dread as well. So I suppose the question is, where do I get the contentment to deal with them? Or how do I otherwise subvert these into something more useful? So I suppose that's the study verb for later. I don't have the Season of Despair, so it's not as dangerous as it used to be. I'm just trying to remember exactly what my game plan was for these. Okay, let's say. Oh wait, no, I remember exactly how I was going to handle this. So I wanted to make sure I had at least one dread for when I convert the Savor's Blood. So it's actually, I just need to deal with the icy atmosphere and we are in the clear. Okay, that makes me feel better. I could use the Vagabond's map. This is Lone and Level Set. No, this is in the Rending Mountains. Okay, we'll hang on to the Vagabond's map for now. Do I want to do anything with the Explore verb? I could, I suppose I could try... Well, I could try selling off some of this stuff, but I don't really need it right now. We're doing okay funds-wise. I could try and find more people. I'm just trying to think what that would really get me. So let's say we'll leave the Explore verb on its own for the time being. And then the question is, do I want to do anything with my Dream verb? And I suppose for now we can actually afford potential fascination. So we will go back through the Stag Door and we will use our reason. So the Stag Door is the Adept's Gate. To pass through it is to be initiated into the first true mystery of the House of the Sun. The head Gearby weeps to see me enter where it cannot, but it must let me pass. The scarred valves of the door grind open. Alright, sorry about the time it took to get started there. I'm just trying to reacquaint myself with the playthrough. Okay, I reviewed tidy columns of figures in the tidy 5th floor room. From my office window I can see the river. My secretary brings me a hot drink every 59 minutes. The river is the color of rain. So the challenge that I have here is that I can use the board seat. I can use the board seat to just continue to enrich myself. We're doing okay funds-wise. Doing that, however, is going to stop me from being able to work with the commissions. That generally I'm unhappy with. I think I'm okay with some of the mystique. It will mean that if I generate notoriety, I've got a big problem. But it seems to me the answer is just don't generate notoriety. So let's start doing the Heart Commission. We can afford it, and I do want to get the Spintrea, as well as maybe some influence, or sorry, glimmerings and whatever the reason one is called. I'm sorry. Basically, it's a chance for me to potentially be able to upgrade some lore. So we will go and work on some commissions for at least as long as I'm able to at Glover and Glover. I think I can only do it the one time. Blinking light. Now I understand. Okay, this might be inconvenient when we consume the blood. I'm not sure. And if I can do something to get rid of the chilly atmosphere, I would feel good about it, but I'm probably going to run into trouble. I might even do a painting to try and get the contentment for it. Okay, so I could take the free Forgotten Chronicle, or I could run a risk for... You know what? This is really dangerous for me to try. I'm actually going to go for the Painted River. Okay, well, we got the Forbidden Epic. I was thinking the Fascination might be something that I could use to subvert, or to get rid of the chilly atmosphere, but I'm not going to complain about getting Forbidden Epic either. There's a great chamber in the Mansis through which a painted river flows. The vagabond, it is claimed, painted it from memory in the years before she left the house. Certainly, there are histories concealed in its design. I traced them with my hand last night. There were fragments of aquamarine paint beneath my nails, flecks of gold leaf when I was done. So we're going to go back to... that area. And we have now got an unresolved ambiguity. I probably should have read the description for that. My apologies. So, in the Mansis, the hours strive one against another. As the struggles are resolved, they iron out the impossible, exalt the possible, tie the fraying braids of what has been into one golden ribbon of future. Everything is resolved, history becomes the past. There are, however, exceptions. Exploring with this scrap of knowledge, man uncovers secret locations in the Rending Mountains, 3,000 miles away from the wreck of the oldest empires. The Rending Mountains, it has been said, tear the flesh of history. It has generally only been said by people like Christopher Alopoli, but still, they are a good region to find the places that history does not recognize. Okay, so let's just take a quick second here. I don't think I have what I need, but we can turn it into... Ooh, heart influence. If we had even a vitality... would have gotten us through that. All right, that's fine. It's a dread I need to deal with. Maybe I'll just do a painting to solve things for myself. Let's see what else we can do. So I do want to be a little bit careful, seeing as the Season of Visions is coming out. It would be nice if I can avoid anything too frightening while I'm under threat. So we'll do the translations, but maybe I will avoid reading the text for the time being. So, in the mountains is upon the plain. In the mountains is upon the plain may not be a path where none has passed. A work by Nigella of Lagash. Lock the study door, the work begins. Okay, we need the bronze Spintrea. So yeah, I only have time for one commission each round, but I'm fine with that. I'll try and convert some of the mystique that I get into a painting as well, I think. The mirror is repaired. It shines again as it did once before. Okay. So So a little bit less for me to do with the talk verb at the moment. I suppose I can turn in with Count Jannings, though. This will obviously... Well, yeah, so this is going to eat up the mystique, but eating up the mystique isn't actually the worst thing that can happen to me here. I receive the currency of the secret world, and my patron has let tantalizing information slip. So there's the glimmering. So turns out that the season of suspicion was just at the tail end, but we've got another one coming up. So I suspect painting with this may not happen, which means that getting rid of dread with painting is less likely. We'll leave the... I'm going to leave the talk verb. Normally I would send a heart follower out, but in this case here, I don't really see... Excuse me. I don't really see a reason to tie up the talk slot. After this round, I'm going to wait for the Savorous Blood, and then we'll clear out the disease. Okay. I'm actually going to try and get another... No, hang on. No, I'm still going to go for it. No, we still got a Forbidden Epic. The attention of the hours is drawn to the bloodiest wars. Afterwards, the histories are braided like... Okay, we just read this one, so I'll leave it be. This plate merits closer investigation. And we've now translated it. In the mountains as upon the plain, there may not be a path where none is passed. Nigella of Lagash describes the secrets to be found in the mountains. So I'm going to read on the matters and deeds of serpents, or sorry, translate on the matters and deeds of serpents before reading any of these. This is probably the prophecies of the Naga rendered into English and illustrated by William Midnight in Paris in the 1880s, but it shows a number of divergences from that text. It's certainly quite recent by the standards of Vac texts. Reminder that Vac, before gods arose from blood, before ape ever stood upright, this was the language heard in the House of the Sun. So the reason we're translating instead of reading is just to avoid any consequences for the avoid consequences for the book. Okay, I want to go back to the Peacock Door. So, in my dreams I know the path through the glass garden to the Peacock's Door, the most admirable of doors, the door which shines like a mirror. Perhaps, with the right resources, I can pass it. Oh, what was I doing? I should have waited to deal with the blood. I even said that too, but... Sorry, I've been not exactly distracted, but I think just because of the... I think there's a lot of pollen in the air. My eyes have been bothering me a little bit. I've been trying to keep it together while I've been recording, so... I review tidy columns of figures in the tidy 5th floor room from my office window. I can see the river. My secretary brings me a hot drink every 59 minutes. The river is the color of rain. So again, we'll take the opportunity. The question is, do I want to paint? Well, maybe, but I don't have quite the reputation to merit it. Perhaps doing a study for Madame Bichet is the right call. So I'll employ my reason. Okay, so the fascination is no longer a threat. However, we do have the Season of Despair upon us, and unfortunately I didn't deal with this in time. So, I actually have a few challenges now. So I'm going to have to consume the blood, I'm going to have to get rid of the dread, and then I'm going to have to get a contentment somehow. So first thing we can do for the nope, I'm going to wait for the contentment, actually. So we'll combine this with a delightful blood as soon as we can. We'll be fine, but I did make a couple of blunders here, which there will be consequences. Okay, well, under normal circumstances, this wouldn't be a bad thing to get. So if I had even just a little more time, I would actually be able to use that fascination to get rid of all of the dread. As it is, one of those dread is going to be taken up by the Season of Despair, and you can use dread to quiet fascination. However, you cannot use fascination to negate dread. You can do it in the dream slot, but if you've got a Season of Despair coming up, it doesn't consume fascination. So the question here is, do I choose the Worm Museum or do I choose the Red Church? It seems to me that the potential to get that second despair, or that second dread for the Season of Despair is too high. So even if the Red Church gives me something like an influence that I don't really need at the moment, this is the safety choice. Anything else is too dangerous at the moment. So, and yeah, Incarnance. The very air is succulent with possibility. Pierce it, and it might bleed. When one dreams of the Red Church, one hears voices of the Grail's names, the Thirstleys, the Ivories, and the Lovelies, and the rest. Not all the Impausi are women, they might be heard to say. The hungers of women run no deeper than the hungers of men, but a mother is never far from her child at its birth, and that is not always true of the father. Come closer, and we will show you what we mean. Okay. So I got to think a little bit about my timings here now. So we will use the Forlorn Blood and the Delightful Blood. The Dream of the End, I consume the little vial of blood, lie back and close my eyes. Tomorrow I will be stronger. Let's say for the time being, because I know we're going to be sticking with Dread for a little while, this is going to be a translation run. So we are going to take our languages, I think. Yes, because I don't have the proper. It actually occurred to me there's a slightly better way I can be doing the works. And for the rest of it, we're just gonna let things run by. So 15 seconds before I need to get rid of both dreads. It won't really matter which one I get rid of though, because we're still gonna get hit by it. I am much recovered. More than that, I am sumptuous. The sclera of my eyes, the veins in my wrists are aswim with gorgeous serums. When the vitulation comes, I will be the centerpiece for our delight to prove their appetite to enact the grail. Okay, so we're going to combine that with the dread again. It doesn't matter which one. Normally I would go for this dread anyway because, and I try to build the habit where I take the one that'll be on the board the longest. But unless we can somehow delay the Season of Despair for a little more than a minute, we're going to get hit by it no matter what. But there's a specific order in which I'm going to approach these things. Okay, so we've prepared the substantial treatise on the Forge Principle. I'm going to go to work now, and then I'm going to turn in the commission for Madame Bichet. So what I want to do after 60 seconds is then go to the Ecdysis Club. And this is because it's possible for the Ecdysis Club to produce notoriety. Of course, it's also possible to produce fascination, which will hit me with the Season of Visions if we go, if we go there. So who knows, right? And erudition was the word I was looking for earlier. Okay, I received the currency of the secret world, and my patron has let tantalizing information slip. Now, if I hadn't been doing translation, I would have been able to combine these into a higher level secret history. So I wasn't thinking too carefully about that. But that's fine. We'll be able to turn in a commission with Dr. Adim, and then we'll be able to get, we'll be able to start again with Count Jannings. So I'm gonna make a guess that that we'll have enough time. So visit the Ecdysis Club. The entrance is lost beneath the soft drapes of crimson, cinnabar, and intercardinine. Above the door, the club motto, Ingi rum imus noctet consumi marigni, has been rendered as into the night circle we fly until the fire enjoys us. The air is curdled now. I'm home again in this lumpen flesh. Better, perhaps. And the translation is done. I don't think it's worth it to try and I think we'll, yeah, I'm gonna try and upgrade my secret histories later. For now, I think being able to translate works is enough. A true and accurate account of the Shadowless Kings, Isaac of Karth's history of the Shadowless Empire. We probably aren't going to be able to read any of these books during this broadcast, but we're at least getting in position. Yeah, so we had more than enough time for the Dices Club. Okay, so we will work on a very substantial lantern commission. This will hopefully give us something a little more powerful. And then I suppose the question is, what else? So I definitely want to talk with Tristan about repairing the mirror. And I suppose the next question is, why am I not using my dream verb? I suppose it was because I wanted to try and get rid of any of the bad stuff. I may want to go to the work site just to avoid the effects of the season of sickness. But yeah, let's go through the stag door because there's really nothing else for me to do with the dream slot for now. Alright, the drinks, the songs, the light, the arching walls, the smoke blue haze, the press and sway of clothed and unclothed flesh. I purchase pleasure, I reel home in the ungodly hours and collapse into bed. So, good for me. We've gotten rid of the threat from the fascination, and overall we're doing okay. I think probably we want to be careful about when we read certain books, but we're in a better position than we were at the start in terms of getting a lot of that work done. We've definitely restored a lot of our our financial security. And the only thing I'm a little unhappy with is I was hoping that we could do a few more upgrades of the secret histories, but unfortunately I am also doing the commissions in such a way that the glimmerings and erudition that I earn are a little, like, they're going to be a little bit slower than if I just turn in all the commissions at once. And that's a choice that I made to keep working at Glover and Glover. But next broadcast, we'll probably continue along the same lines, get a few more of these books read, and see if we can maybe start making some expeditions. Until next time, thanks for watching, and if you enjoy it, please do feel free to do the like, the subscribe, or otherwise interact with the videos. They definitely help me get noticed, and I always appreciate hearing from all of you.